all joining. I appreciate you popping in here. I see lots of familiar names and lots of new names, so welcome to all of you. And my name is Marsha Nieland, if we haven't met, and I appreciate you joining me this Saturday morning. So I thought I would focus today, anatomically focused will be mostly upper body, just digging in a little, compassionately digging in a little bit to the neck, the shoulders, the front door and the back door of the heart, so the upper body region, and really just working on mobility, fluidity, and stability. So there'll be some, obviously, flexibility, but also some strengthening there as well. And I've personally been rehabbing a shoulder, so I've learned a lot about this area recently through an injury, which injuries are often great teachers. So I appreciate what I've learned from it. And aside from the anatomical part, philosophically, today's focus is on the heart. And I love this quote by Maya Angelou. She says that I believe that the heart is the most forceful, impactful element in our lives. I believe that the heart helps us to understand who we are, where we are, and how we are. And the modern science that we have today has evidence that the heart's power, it goes way, way beyond biological function. It's more than just an organ that beats in our body. And so we'll explore this today through our practice. There's an organization that I belong to called the Heart Math Institute, and I've just been on this adventure for several years now, exploring and learning about the heart, and again, not just as an organ, but the power and the intelligence that resides in our heart. And the Heart Math Institute talks a lot about that there is a global shift that's happening, that people are sensing that they're longing for a deeper connection in the heart. Even in businesses, a lot of businesses are talking about leading from the heart and being heart-based. So it's lovely, but at the same time, there are many people that are closing hearts down as well. And so it's really important that we spend time in this region, whether it's through our yoga practice or through meditation, to keep our hearts open, to live from a place of an open heart. So there's something that is called heart coherence, and that is when your mind, your brain, your heart, and your emotions all line up. And when they line up, and this can happen, you can focus on this in about 60 seconds. When they all line up, you can release stress and stop draining emotions. And so we're going to experience that in our centering at the beginning of our practice this morning. So I invite you to make sure you have a comfortable seat. I'm going to center us from this position right here, and then I'll move on back to my mat. So take a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you, and then take a moment to close your eyes or simply look down so you have a soft gaze, and we'll go inward. The eyes are our windows to the world. For right now, just pull the shutters down over your eyes. And let the chin slightly drop. And if you'd like, you can place one hand on the heart center, just bringing a little bit of a more awareness there. And simply, in a few simple steps, we can begin to bring about this sense of heart coherence. This is a state that can build a sense of resiliency, and it's also a state that you can feel energized and perform at your best. You can access creativity and intuition and just better decision making. So take a moment to feel your breath, and you might feel a rising in your chest subtly as you breathe. And so we're simply begin to focus now as if the breath were moving into the heart and out from the heart. Focusing attention on the heart, the heart-centered breath. And then adding on to that a positive feeling. It could be a feeling of appreciation, it could be a feeling from a memory of a favorite place that you've traveled to, or just bringing to mind someone's face that brings you joy when you see them. Maybe it's your dog. Maybe it's the first moment you saw your child. Just bring a positive feeling or emotion as you breathe into and out of the heart. There is a direct neural pathway from your heart up into your brain to the amygdala, where we process emotions. And the cells at the core of the amygdala synchronize with your heartbeat. There is this communication always happening between the heart and the brain. And when we're in coherence, the heart rhythms in this calmer position can be interpreted by the amygdala. Likewise, if we're angry or anxious or any other stressful feeling, that sends a signal to the amygdala, the fight or flight part of the brain. It can have a not so pleasant effect. So let's just take another 30 seconds here, really connecting with breath, with the heart, and with that positive emotion. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart. Let the head bow. And we just ask that this practice be guided and supported and uplifted by grace. And then please lift your head, release your hands, let your eyes come open, and I'll meet you back on my mat as we begin. So again, if you just signed on, if you have a belt or a towel or something that would be handy today, and also a blanket or a pillow. I'm just making sure we're all connected here. And I want to welcome those of you that just popped on. Thanks for being here today. We're focusing on the upper body primarily. Of course, we'll give the rest of the body some love too, but focusing primarily on the upper body. Excuse me, I need to grab my glasses. All right, so in your seated position, we'll start here for some warm-ups, and just make sure you're sitting tall. If this is uncomfortable, you certainly could go to a kneeling position. So just sitting upright, put the hands on your knees or your thighs somewhere, and we'll do a seated cat-cow. So when you inhale, lift slightly up through the chest, feel a little bit more arch in your low back, and then as you exhale, round and let the chin drop in. And continue that motion, so it's like a wave motion through your spine. Inhale, we rise, and exhale, just take the ribs back, the sternum back, and let the chin bow. Let's do that 2 more times. You can utilize your Ujjayi breath. Inhale, lengthening up as you're ready, and exhale, rounding. And then coming upright, take your arm across. So take your left arm across to your opposite leg. Maybe you can hold the knee, maybe somewhere here on the thigh, and bring the other hand behind your head. And so remember, we're just warming up here, so gentle movement. Start to lift your elbow up, hold onto your leg here, and then lean away from the leg. Start to lean over as you stretch the elbow up. Maybe even look up towards the elbow and slightly press your head back into your hand. And inhale, come on up. Let's do the other side. So take the hand across, hold on to something, bring the opposite hand behind your head, lean away from the leg that you're holding, and actively stretch the elbow upward, perhaps even look up. And just breathe, opening through the side body. And come back up to center. All right, so now we're going to twist, but I want to make sure that when we twist, we're motoring from our core and not using the leverage of the arms. All right, so take your left hand across. You can put your right hand on the floor behind you or on your blanket, and then instead of going into a twist by pulling with the arms, I want you to engage your abdomen and then utilize that. So you feel a turning, a motoring happening from your core, and the arms are secondary. They're giving you some stability, but they're not overriding. Inhale, there's a sense of rising. And exhale, just a settling into where you are. One more full breath here. And now coming back to center. And just again, place the hands first, stay looking forward, and then engage. So activate by drawing ribs and navel gently in. And then from there, see if you can utilize that to turn you. And we're warming up, so it may be just a slight twist. And then you feel the hands in place, but the arms are not pulling you farther than your body is ready to go. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Deep breath in, slow breath out. And come back to center. All right, one more here. So these will all come into play later. Bring your arms into Cactus Pose. And again, activate from here. So just slightly draw the ribs back, draw the navel back. So there's an awakening happening here. And then start to turn from here. So I'm feeling an engagement in my abdomen, and I'm keeping that very connected. I'm sure you are too. I'm just reminding you as you turn as far as you can go at this point, not forcing. And then come back to center. Keep that awareness in your core as we start to turn to the opposite side. And you might notice one side is easier, one side offers a little more range of motion than the other. Just observe. And come back home to center. All right, we're going to come off of our blanket right now. And your blanket or your pillow. And just put it off to the side. And then we're going to start on our hands and knees with cat-cow, but focusing primarily on the upper back. I know the pelvis is going to get in there a little bit, but instead of initiating from the tailbone, I want you to think more of upper back movement. So come into cat-cow, wrists under the shoulders, and then just start to think of the floor as a piece of heavy furniture that you're trying to move or push. So push the floor away. Round the upper back primarily. So I'm not really tucking my tail under here. I'm letting the upper back have most of the attention. And then going the opposite now, start to let your arm bones sink deeply into the shoulder sockets and lift your chest slightly. So you really feel like a melting or a sinking in the upper back here. And then go back and forth that way. So really round the upper back, push the floor away. Feel the shoulder blades come apart, and then go the opposite. Let the shoulder blades come onto the back, or down right between the shoulder blades, the back door of the heart, I call it, and then push again. So push the floor away, inviting some nice mobility here through the upper body, and then release and lift the chest slightly. There's going to be a lot of intricate movements today, but I promise you're going to feel so good at the end of this. Press the floor away one more time. Really tuck the chin. Again, you don't have to tuck don't tuck the tailbone under. Just keep it more in the upper back. And then last time, coming forward and just sink. So let the arm bones sink into the sockets. And now from here, coming on up, bring your arms behind you, interlace the fingers, and keep the elbows bent. And so from here, roll the shoulders back, and then I want you to move your head. Do a little Stevie Wonder with your head. You know, I can just hear him. I just called to say I love you. I love Stevie Wonder. But in other words, just move your head around a little bit so you can free up those muscles around the neck. And at the same time, you're keeping the shoulders back. I think my class has a lot of 80s references today, so beware. Start to stretch your arms a little straighter if that's doable. Now you certainly can hold a belt here. Just lift your chest up. Notice if there's resistance, if there's tightness here in the front of the chest. For most of us humans, we can find some tightness there. We are forward beings. All right, and now from here, release and shake the arms out. There's lots of little muscles here, the rotator cuffs, there's 4 of them. Bring your arms out, let's warm up your cuffs. So turn your palms upward, and then just start to rotate back and come in. Rotate back and come in. And as you're doing what seems like a very simple movement, just be curious. Tune into what am I feeling in my upper back? What's happening to my shoulder blades when my arms are open? Can I feel the shoulder blades dipping in towards the spine? And when the hands come in, can I feel the shoulder blades start to wing out? So feel the relationship between the movement and what's happening anatomically. Good, just a couple more times. All right, and one more here. Take your left arm up, bring it down your back, and then bring the opposite hand here. Now, oftentimes we press down on the elbow, but I want you to do the opposite. I want you to place your hand here, but push your elbow up. So as you push the elbow up, feel your shoulder blade travel up your back. Yeah, we want to free it up. So I'm pressing the elbow up into the top hand, and then just feel the difference. Let the elbow drop and let the shoulder blade drop. And then again, put a little resistance with this top hand, but push up into that resistance and let the shoulder blade slide up the back. And drop it. And let's do the second side. So bend your other arm, I should say, and put a little pressure with your top hand and push up into that pressure. So you're really pulling up with the blade, the scapula, and then down. So this is all going to come into play later when we're in our down dogs, and hopefully you're going to feel not only a sense of deeper freedom, but also strength. So when we get stiff and tight in an area, it often brings a sense of weakness with it. And we're going for strong, brave hearts. So push up, and then release that down, shake it out. And now tilt your head to the left, let your ear drop over. And lift your head center, please, and go to the second side. And come back to the center. All right, coming into child's pose now. Up on the tips of your fingers. So make a tent with your hands, knees wide, and then sitting on back, let the forehead go down and focus on your breath here. At any time, you can practice that technique of heart coherence, where you're just breathing in and out of the heart center, and also bringing to mind a positive feeling and emotion. So syncing the brain, the heart, and the emotions. Keep lifting your arm bones up, your armpits, your elbows, your wrists, and sinking your fingers down. And then lift your head on up, place your palms, and let's lift up to a downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up, and start to bend one leg at a time. So far we've given all the attention to the upper body, so say good morning to your legs. Mindful of your breath, keep it present. And then lower your knees back down to the mat. Walk your hands to the right to a diagonal child's pose. Start to shift your hips way over to the left and let the forehead come down towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch, just let it release down. The idea here is as you inhale, elevate the arm bones, keep them high, and as you exhale, descend through the chest slightly. Breathing in and out through the heart even. You can keep that visual. They say the heart is the first brain, that the communication from the heart to the brain is way more than the other way around. And lifting your head, walk your hands to the other side, so all the way over to the left. Shift the hips to the right a bit more. And just pause, bringing in the nourishment of your breath and the slow, steady pace this morning. And then coming back to center. Right from here, take your right leg through into a deep lunge here, or a low lunge, and come upright. Bring the hands on your front knee, please, and then press your back knee down and try to drag it forward as you just lift your chest. And then bring the arms up to the cactus pose that we had earlier. For a moment, draw back with the ribs, and then slowly turn from your strong core, turn to your right. So you're turning, your legs are hugging towards each other, and just hold here. Keep it breathing. And then come back to center. Reach down, touch the mat, lift the back leg, and step back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the shoulders slightly forward towards the fingertips. Keeping that, bend your knees a little and press the pelvis higher. So shoulders are forward, knees are slightly bent, pelvis pushing back and up. And then lower the knees down to the mat. Take your left leg forward, come upright, establish your foundation. So you're gonna hug the feet and shins in. Then bring the arms on up. Take a moment to call upon your strong core here. So draw the ribs back so you kind of tether them back in. And then slowly turn from that place. So the core initiates the twist. You move from a place of strength. Holding here. Coming back to center and touch down to the mat. Lift the back leg, step forward to forward bend, and pause in your first forward bend. Inhale, swing your arms, reach up, and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms back up again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, prana. Exhale, bow deeply.
Let's make our way back to a plank pose now. So holding here in plank, one of the very first things we did was cat-cow with just the upper body. So just for a few repetitions here, you're so welcome to lower your knees if you need to. So push the floor away like you're moving a piece of heavy furniture and feel a slight roundedness in your upper back, maybe even more activation in your abdomen. And then stay strong and straight with your arms and just let the arm bones come deep into the sockets and feel your upper back soften. We're doing all this without dropping our head, right? Keeping the back of the neck long. And then again, push the floor away. So you're pressing away. Feel what happens with your shoulder blades. They widen. And then let the shoulder blades merge on the back as the arms come in the socket. But lower the knees down. Lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Chin rests on the floor. And then interlace the fingers behind you. Legs are long and strong. Roll the shoulders up. Engage your core. And then inhale, lift your head and chest. Not going for height here. Looking down and just feel, can I engage my shoulder blades? Can I draw them gently towards each other, not over pinching? And then lower on down. Release your hands. Come up onto your forearms in Sphinx pose. And then from here, turn your left forearm in. Bend your right leg up. And see if the foot's accessible. If not, you can always roll onto your side here and draw the heel in. See where you can. You can also use your belt and wrap it around your foot and pull it over your shoulder. So yes, you're gonna feel some stretch, hopefully in your quadricep, but let's focus on the upper back here and upper body. Can you draw your right shoulder blade onto your back more, opening the right shoulder? And then as you look straight ahead, if you are on your stomach here, try to drag your front elbow back and stretch long through the belly, chest, and your gaze looking far out. Nice shoulder opener. At the same time, we get to give some love to the quad. And let's release and do the other side. So again, options are you can go completely on your side. It's easier to find your foot. You could wrap a belt around the foot and bring it over the shoulder. So make it work for you. And so we'll come down here again. Roll the left shoulder back. Feel the shoulder blade should have a little bit more freedom to move now. As you attempt to drag your front forearm back, feel how that helps you elongate and stretch forward. And release. All right, place your hands by your chest. We're going to push up to your hands and knees, and then bring the knees forward underneath your hips. And then hands underneath your shoulders. So we'll take the left hand and move it to the center spot. So left hand's coming to the center spot. And then draw up through the abdomen and extend the right arm straight out. So the two positions now that we'll go through are straight with this arm. And then bring your attention to your shoulder blade on your back. Feel it move onto the back as you pull your elbow back in this position. And then go forward again, feel the shoulder blade travel up your back, and then feel the shoulder blade travel in towards the spine. Good, one more time, reach it really long, and then bring it onto your back. Awesome, release now. Just change positions, so the right hand comes into that middle space, draw up through your abdomen, and then left arm extends. And we're looking down at the mat. So extend, it's not just the arm reaching, I want you to get the whole shoulder blade to reach. They often just get really gnarly and stuck on our back. And then bring the elbow back and reach again, feel the shoulder blades slide, travel up. And then initiate, put your mind in your shoulder blade, the back of your heart. Move it back and in towards the spine. One more time. And this arm that's on the floor, you might be feeling it getting a little fatigued as well. It's holding you, it's getting stable. All right, so one arm's working on mobility while the other arm gets the benefit of stability. Come back to child's pose for a moment, up onto the tips of your hands or fingers. And just take a couple deep breaths there. Soak up what you've felt so far. Now the arms and the hands are extensions of your heart. They all grew out of the heart bud. So we're coming up now to focus a little bit more downstream. So take your hands right where they were. This is really good to strengthen through your wrists. What I want you to do is lift the heel of your hands up and come onto your fingers for just a moment. So these are little wrist push-ups. And then release down. If you're on the computer a lot, if you use your, well, just in general, our wrists get weak. We start to lose our grip. Lift the heel of the hand up and down. So just keep doing that. So lift up, put the weight a little more onto the fingers, and then down and up and down. Keep going. Heel raises. Heel of the hand raises, I should say. And one more time, you might start to feel some fatigue through the wrist and forearm. That's because you're strengthening. And now see about turning your hands around backwards, or if not all the way backwards, maybe slightly out. See where you're capable of turning. Be gentle. And then once you're there, start to round your back into a cat pose with more emphasis on the upper back. So I'm really tucking the chin. Whew, feeling that all the way through the forearms. And now coming on out of that, and just come up and give your hands a little shake out. Shake out, shake out. I just want to touch base and make sure we're still connected and that you can see me okay back there. I still look hazy, but I guess there's no chat, so we must be doing okay. All right. All right, here we go. So going a little deeper here now. Stay in a kneeling position or sit if that's more comfortable. And we're gonna do the Popeye the Sailor Man. So you're gonna make a fist with your hands and then extend your arms out. Now just tilt the fists up and slowly, slowly come in. Remember Popeye had his big biceps and his spinach and his big pipe. Toot, toot, and then go back out. So keep your fists turned in as you extend your arms out. You should feel this through the forearms. Yeah. And then come back in. So just keep the fists in that same position as you go in and out, but move slow and mindful. And bring it on in. And bring it out last time. Awesome. And then release and just shake the arms out. Okay. So this next one, in the 80s, you might have remembered the dance called the sprinkler. This reminds me of the sprinkler. So you're gonna be in hands and knees position one more time here. Move your left hand to the middle position. And so this is super beneficial, what we're gonna do right now. It helps us with poses like side plank, Vashisthasana, and we're going in that direction today, but you're gonna have a really keen sense of awareness in your shoulders when we get there. So hand is in the middle position and put your right hand behind your head. Now, focus on the hand and arm that's down. I want you to push the floor away. So really push the floor away. You'll feel your body starting to open to the right and then just start to twist. Turn and look up. And the bottom arm is super strong and straight and stable. When your hips might rotate a little, that's okay. And come back. Awesome. Bring the right hand down. Fingers are spread wide and you're really sinking through the fingertips. Bring the left hand behind your head and now push the floor away. So really pushing from the power way up here. Keep the pushing as you rotate. Keep it as you rotate. Breathing. Strong arm. And come back to center. Come onto your forearms into this variation of child's pose. Come out of your wrist for a moment and just let your head drop. And allow there to be a lumbar curve in your low back. So stick your bottom up a little there. And now from here, interlace your fingers as we're going into a little bit of a dolphin pose. Fingers are interlaced and then elbows are underneath your shoulder. Walk your knees back so they're not directly underneath your hips. And now in this bridge in the middle, your abdomen, you're going to need to draw up. So give yourself some support there. And from here, do a rounded upper back like we did at the beginning. So let your chin drop, round the upper back for a moment. Maybe your head tucks all the way down between your arms as you look back towards your legs. And then lift the head slowly. And as you do, feel the transition that's happening in your upper back, how the shoulder blades are coming onto your back more. Stay there. Then lift your knees. Start to lift your pelvis higher. You might walk your feet in just a little bit in more of a dolphin pose here. And now really feel, earlier when I had you take your elbow above your head and I said push your elbow towards the ceiling, the mat, the floor is now the ceiling. So push your elbows strongly into the floor. Feel how that translates up into the upper back. Actively push the elbows. Good, strong upper back and supple. We want both. Lower the knees down. Don't we want it all always? And then sit back to child's pose. Just let your arms relax in any position. Let your forehead rest on the mat there. And then make your way on up. We're going to come onto your stomach here. Okay. All right, so moving more specifically into opening up through the front of the shoulder and into the chest. And we'll start here with your right arm extended out. So not straight out from the shoulder, but a little bit higher than the shoulder. Palm facing down. Bend your left arm and place the hand by the left chest. And then let your chin rest down on the floor. And bend your left leg. And if this is new to you, you might want to peek up at your screen, your device. So you're going to start to roll over onto your right side. Let the right ear come to the floor. So you're turning your head to look left. And what I want to make really clear here for the safety of your shoulder is please try not to over push with your left hand, right? So find a place where you're feeling some sensation, but we're not trying to overdo. Now you can add a bonus here with your right hand and wrist. Try lifting your right hand off the floor, your wrist is pressing down, your right fingertips stretch up towards the ceiling. So you're flexing the right wrist. Awesome. Are you breathing? Check in. Oops, forgot about that. And then slowly come back to the center and we will switch sides. I hope you felt that was interesting. Got into some areas. So left arm out, bring the hand a little bit higher. Right hand by your chest, chin rests down, and then bend the right leg, and then take your time rolling. I discover lots of interesting sensations in the transition, so I'm never in a hurry to get to the final part. I like all the little nuggets in between. Let the left ear side of your head come to the mat, and just send some breath. You might feel a difference in one side. If you want to add a little extra spice, you can lift the hand, point the left fingers towards the ceiling, and you're pressing your left wrist down. And let's do one more breath here. And slowly come back, please. Take your time. All the way back. And now bring the hands under by your chest and push back to downward facing dog. There's going to be an interesting down dog discovery coming up here soon. So just feel your dog right now. And now from here, lower your knees down to the mat and come upright. Back to a kneeling position. You're certainly welcome to do this standing if your knees are sensitive. So we're going to ask you to take your arms in front of you. Cross, it doesn't matter. Just remember, which arm am I crossing over? I'm crossing my left over right now. I'm going to mirror you. And then give yourself a hug. So reach back as far as you can. If it happens that you can find your shoulder blades, just hold them. But the idea is just hug yourself here and then try to pull the arms forward as you draw your chin down. So we're really, in essence, trying to widen the upper back by hugging yourself. And now we're going to transfer this. We're going to start to lift your gaze. And now, like you're taking off a sweater, sometimes you crisscross your arms. Think of that. You're going to start to lift your elbows, and your head's going to start to peek through here. But what I want you to feel is the elbows energetically pressing up towards the ceiling. And as a result of that, your shoulder blades are moving up your back too. They're not going down, they're moving up, shoulder blades. And then from there, stretch all the way up and feel that you are pushing the ceiling just like you've been dynamically pushing into the floor. There's a really active pressing up and the shoulder blades are lifting. Yeah, good, and then just let them drop. Let them drop. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So remember which arm you had crossed over, do the other. So I'm going to cross the opposite arm over and hug. Reach back as far as you can, and then rounding the upper back, start to widen. Let your chin draw down. We're taking a really therapeutic approach to our practice today, but I believe all yoga should be functional, should help us live better, and should make life easier because we're stronger and more open at the same time. We have a balance. So from here, we start to take our sweater off, lift your elbow up, and feel your shoulder blades rise up your back as you reach up. Reach up. Really put all of your effort into extending upward. 100%. And now, if you were in the 80s and you did aerobics, you might remember the one arm reaches. This will bring back memories. So you're going to do right side a little bit higher, left side a little bit higher. And then just keep reaching up. I can hear Olivia Newton-John. Let's get physical. I won't sing the whole song, sorry. And just reach all the way up. You guys are having flashbacks, some of you I know. And one more time, good. And then just release down. Oh, let your shoulders relax and shake your arms out. Okay, so what you just did, I want you to feel now in Well, we're gonna do one more thing and then we're gonna transfer it all to downward facing dog. So come onto your hands and knees. This is the push away. So push away anything that you don't want around you. That includes people that are draining you, people that make your heart sad. Just push them away for now. You can put them right down on the mat. So you're gonna take your left hand and move it slightly into the middle like you did before. Bring your right hand onto your hip. Right hand onto your hip. Focus right now is I'm gonna push the floor away. So push the floor away 100%. And you might feel your spine round just a little bit. You can use your core. And just see how dynamic can I stay here. Really pressing equally through all fingertips. Push the floor away. And then release. And now let's switch. Put the right hand in the middle, please. Bring the left hand to your hip. And notice what's happening from up here, from closer to your core. Push the floor away. Really strong and steady. And a lot of that power is coming from our abdomen, right? The core, we're pushing the floor away. Awesome, and release. All right, let's apply that same energetic quality to downward facing dog. Okay, so take your hands forward of your shoulders, curl the toes under, and now from the get-go, start to push the floor. I'm feeling my hands pushing down and forward. I'm pushing the floor away. That's my focus. Keep pressing the floor away. From the power of up around my heart, I push the floor away. The hips lift high and keep going higher because my arms and my upper body from a place of my heart are so committed. Pressing the floor away. Let the shoulder blades slide up towards your ears. Press your pelvis high. Breathing here for 2 more breaths and see if you can stay steady with that energetic press. And at the end of your next breath, lower your knees down to the mat. Fantastic. And then come on to a seated position. I'm just going to check in on the time here because I forgot my clock today. Doing great, perfect. All right, so now we've mobilized and stabilized to the shoulders. Let's utilize all this new knowledge in a posture. A different way of going into Wild Thing. So we'll do a knee plank first to prepare us. So come into, and I know you guys all know this, but just see if today you can really stay focused up in the upper body, the upper back, the heart region. So come to all fours position, swing both heels to the right, both legs to the right, I should say. And now, even though you know where we're going, see if you can hold back a little bit. Stretch your left leg back and put the foot on the floor. And then just put the left hand behind your head like that sprinkler position, but look down. Look at your right hand. In your mind's awareness, now access your right shoulder blade, and from that place, push the floor away. As you strongly and consistently push the floor away, start to rotate and open your chest. The hand is behind the head, so press the head back into the support of the hand, and then notice what's going on with your stabilizing arm. Your right shoulder blade, your right arm. Make it consistent and strong. And then come back down. I'm sure you did fantastic. Let's switch sides. So leg swing. We're not in a rush here, not in a toot, as my mom would say. Bring your leg back. We're gonna look down at this hand, the bottom hand, and place. And then there's like you take a big breath in, and as you exhale, you push the floor away, like you're moving a piece of heavy furniture, and you draw your top shoulder blade on your back too, and then you press your head back into the hands. You should feel so stable in your upper back, like those shoulder blades are there, they have your back, and you lean back into that. Awesome, and come back down. Alrighty.
Let's go to a seated position and come at that from one more direction. So in this position, we're going to take let me see, which arm are we going to do first? We'll take our left hand. Take your left hand behind you, turn your fingers back, and then from here, I'm going to think about this. We're going to keep the right leg bent and extend the left leg, and when you place it out, put the little toe side of the left foot on the ground, okay? And you can just bring this arm here. When we go into this posture, you can put the hand behind the head if that helps, or you could let the arm float. So if this is new to you, you might want to watch. If you know where we're going, you can go there. But I want you to draw your bottom shoulder blade onto your back and keep that consistent energetic pressing as you lift on up. Use your legs strong, and then feel the shoulder blades come onto your back. Their support, divine support. And then start to lean back into wild thing. I like to keep my right arm bent because it keeps my shoulder blade on my back. You can do whatever you want. Awesome, and then come on down. You should be feeling warm now. Let's switch sides. So we're gonna take the right hand behind you, fingertips turned back, right leg straight, and turn to the little toe side. And then really use the outer edge of that foot and this foot. So you're gonna draw your shoulder blade on your back, strong, steady, unwavering arm here. Keep that as you lift on up. You might place this hand behind your head and really press your head into the hand, and then just open your beautiful heart up. Lift your chest. It's being held and supported by the back of your body and by your awareness. And then slowly float on down. Fantastic. Bring your bring your feet to the ground, hands on your shins. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, round. Inhale, rise. And exhale, round. One more time, lift. And round. All right, and then lifting up, locate your belt. We've spent most of the day in the upper back, and we needed that opening and strengthening. We'll do one last here for the legs. So take a belt. If you have it, place it on the ball of your right foot, and if you don't have a belt, you certainly can hold your leg. Lengthen the left leg out. Hold the belt in your right hand, and then engage your abdomen. Let that be a divine brake system as you very slowly, with curiosity, begin to open the leg off to the right. Nice and slow. At the same time, you might encourage the left leg to extend long. And tune into your breath here. And before we bring the leg up, just see if you can check in with yourself and say, I would really like to bring my leg up with my strong abdominals and a little less with my arm. So engage your abdomen. See if you can bring the leg up with your strength in your core, and really you don't have to pull it up if you don't need to. Then bring your left leg up and insert it into the belt. Right leg anchors strong. And then I guess I'm going to have to turn around here. Have belt will travel. And from here, again, engage through the core, not in a hard way. So never want to just suck the abs in, right? So it's more of just like an internal awakening. You're activating the muscle, all of the muscles, and slowly opening the leg on out.
How smart you are to start your Saturday morning, a little self-care. As you're holding here, you might go back to that sense of eliciting heart coherence, breathing into and out from the heart, and bringing to mind a positive emotion. Could be the happy face that, oh, Shavasana is coming soon. Engage your abdomen and see if you can bring the leg up with that strength and less with the hand pulling the belt. And then please release the belt. Bend both knees, hold your kneecaps, arch your low back. So find a nice lumbar curve. There's a little tunnel. You could put your hand under your low back there. And then rock side to side, intentionally pressing the back into the firm floor for a little massage. And then pausing in the center, place the feet down. We have one more calming posture, but also it will help us with our shoulders, upper back, and chest. So press your feet into the ground, lift your pelvis, and see about rolling your shoulders underneath you. So this is more about the upper back and less about lifting your pelvis high. Interlace the fingers if that's possible. And then if you have rings on, this might not feel 100% great, so I'm just giving you a little heads up there. Keep the chest nice and open, shoulders drawing under you, and then let your bottom rest down heavily on your hands and wrists. And breathe 3 deep breaths, really filling up the cavity of the heart with the full breath. Feeling expansion through your ribs and up into your chest. Really let your bottom fall heavy on the wrists. If that's too much, of course, just take your hands out. One more deep, full breath here. Just feel your shoulders nice and open. Maybe even the breath is stretching the skin across the chest. And then you can start to lift your hips just enough to slide your hands out. Let your arms slide out a little bit here, but not collapsing in the upper back. Just keep a little bit of support. Slide one leg long for Shavasana and the other. And I want you to really enjoy and feel the benefits of your practice today as you rest here in Shavasana. Feel a nice spaciousness, openness across the chest and around the heart. And perhaps a heightened sense of awareness of the support you have in your upper back when you utilize it. Let the back of your head release into the floor. Let it be heavy. Just giving yourself permission to let go. And Shavasana is a beautiful time if you want to tap back into the heart coherence technique.
This is a really potent, beneficial technique to do several times throughout your day. 2 simple steps. Focus on the heart region, breathing into and out from a heart-centered breath. And bring to mind positive feeling or quality. And you start that communication between the heart and the brain. This technique releases stress and really stops those draining emotions like irritation and anxiety and anger. When you're in a coherent state, your thoughts and emotions are balanced, and you experience ease and an inner harmony. Feeling your body being more and more receptive of this time of rest. I invite you to remain in this position for just 2 more minutes. And then I have some lovely frosting to place on top of this practice. So knowing that there's a limited time here, just see if you can relax like 2% more. Feeling the breath circulate through your body, and especially around the heart region. Now start to deepen your breath. And as you're ready, start to wiggle a little bit. Hands, feet, arms, whatever feels right for you. And begin to bend your knees towards your chest. Take a little roll to your right side. Make your way on up to a seat. And once you arrive in your seat, find it any support that you need. Sitting up on a blanket always allows the hips and back to be a bit more comfortable. And then just lengthen up through your spine and feel, perhaps without much effort on your own, feel how the shoulders might be sitting back a little bit more. There's not a rounded hunched position. And just feel there's a gentle rising of the heart. It's not a dynamic or forced lift, but it's more open because the shoulders are perhaps sitting on the back more, the shoulder blades. And let the eyes close. Since we're focusing in the land of the heart this morning, just take a moment, a last moment here, to bring back a positive feeling or emotion that you did earlier. Maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's love, maybe it's compassion or kindness. The heart has so much to navigate each day. So these practices, meditation, yoga, can be a time where we go in and we give our heart a loving breath and a chance to decompress and soften. Our heart works best when it's soft. We all know what a hardened heart can do to people. So we'll end our practice with a bit of loving kindness practice. I want you to send these words to yourself as I repeat them. You can silently or out loud repeat them to yourself. Maybe even put a hand on the heart center. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live in peace. And now think of a person who's had a positive impact in your life. Positive impact in your life. And with that person in mind, extend the words to them. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live in peace. And finally, bring to mind a difficult person in your life. And extend these words to them. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live in peace. And join the hands together in front of your heart. And as we bow, may we extend those words to all beings in this world. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. And may we all live in peace. Our heart is a gateway to a higher level of consciousness, that of love and wisdom. And when we follow our heart, the world revolves around giving rather than taking, and we all contribute to a positive civilization. Thank you for being here this morning. I bow to each of your beautiful hearts. Namaste. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy this beautiful day, and